This is a Midwest Minute with Matt. Simple concussion conversations that just make sense. Before we get started, just a quick note. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not medical advice and does not replace evaluation or treatment from a qualified healthcare provider. Listening to the podcast does not establish a provider-patient relationship. Every brain injury is unique, and what we discuss may not directly apply to your situation. If you're experiencing symptoms or have concerns, please seek care from a licensed medical professional. If this is an emergency, call 911 or your local emergency services immediately. Hello and welcome to another episode of a Midwest Minute with Matt, simple concussion conversations that just make sense. I am your host, Matt Campbell, and today we have episode number 17 titled, You're Allowed to Have a Life. One of the saddest things I see during concussion recovery isn't the injury itself. It's watching people slowly put their lives on hold, slowly change who they are, slowly avoid doing things that make them happy. Not because they want to, but because they're afraid. They're afraid to go out to dinner with friends or family. They're afraid to go to their kids' ball game. They're afraid to go to work. They're afraid to go out and see people. They're afraid to say yes. And over time, recovery stops being something that they're working through and it becomes something that they're living. Today, I want to remind you of something that I talk about with my patients all the time. You're allowed to have a life during concussion recovery. Concussion recovery can quietly shrink your world. It doesn't all happen overnight. It's one thing that we're missing. It's one set of plans that gets canceled. It's one thing that we're avoiding. And suddenly you look at a calendar that used to be full of activities and plans, and it's filled with symptom management. It's filled with what's going to happen when I have a bad day. It's filled with, well, I know I'm going out to see these people, and now I've got to plan the next 4 days of not doing anything. Concussion recovery can make your world feel smaller than it is. And it's not necessarily because the brain is telling you to, it's because of the fear that happens. We don't know how we're going to feel. So the longer we don't know how we're going to feel, we have to plan for those days where it's like, I don't know what's going to happen, so I might as well just take the day off. And that fear is what's causing us to not do it. The more we don't feel good during an activity, the less we want to do it because we don't know how we're going to feel. That's how concussion recovery shrinks your world. It's not because the brain told you to. It's because we become afraid of the activities because we don't know how we're going to feel. Sometimes the biggest thing that the concussion takes away from us isn't our health. It's the willingness to live our life the way we want to. And it's not always a long-term thing, but it's also not something that people get past very easily. Recovery was never meant to replace your real life. What do I mean by that? It was never meant to be something that you complete your entire life and you dedicate your entire being to. It's to help you return to what truly matters. And that's the things that we enjoy. Life doesn't stop after a concussion, but neither should you. Just because we're getting some changes in symptoms or we're afraid of an activity, concussion recovery is not meant to be who you are. It is not meant to be a full-time, isolated job. The whole goal of concussion recovery is to get you back to the life that you were living before you got hurt. Yes, there's going to be days and there's going to be times where slowing down is important. There's going to be a balance between doing too much and not enough. It's that fine line that we talked about last episode. But we need to understand concussion recovery is all about getting you back into your life. Concussion rehab is not done sitting in a dark room. It's not done being isolated. It's done by integrating you into your normal routines without overloading your system. Concussion recovery was never meant to replace your real life. It's meant to help you see what truly matters and help you get back to what truly matters in your life. Just because there are days or times that we want you to slow down doesn't mean that we want you to stop doing things. There's a big difference between slowing down and stopping. We talked last week about concussion recovery being the fine line between doing too much and not enough. That line doesn't exist to keep you from doing your real life, from being involved in living. That fine line exists to show us where that balance between doing too much and not enough comes in. Just because the fine line is there, it doesn't mean that we want you to stop living life. When we talk about trying to find the fine line in concussion recovery, it's not to get you to avoid the fine line, it's to teach you how to live before you cross the line. I don't want you to isolate. I don't want you to avoid doing things. We modify the activity, we might modify the attendance, and some days we might not go. But the idea is we want to modify that activity, not avoid it. Living fearfully is not the same as concussion recovery. I get it. It's easy for me to sit here and say, hey, we need you to live your life and we need you to do things. But a perfect concussion recovery isn't done by sitting around waiting for yourself to get better. It's finding the fine line between doing too much and not enough and living your life in that fine area. Finding your capacity isn't about avoiding experiences. It's about trying to teach you where your capacity lies so we can get you to enjoy the activities that you like. I've worked with patients a lot where the first conversation we have is, what's your happy place? What do you like to do? Because in the rehab plan, I want to get you back into something that you're enjoying doing as quickly as possible. Whether that's I enjoy going out for a bike ride, going out to dinner with my friends, or I enjoy doing a puzzle or knitting or playing video games. I am trying to take the activity that you enjoy doing as an escape from reality and help make that so that activity no longer makes us symptomatic. The fine line between doing too much and not enough is not a cliff that we need to avoid. We need to teach you how to come up to the line and live your life without crossing it. Finding your capacity isn't about avoiding things. It's about making the experiences possible and managing symptoms that come with them. The goal isn't to avoid your real life. The goal is to learn how to live your life again. Don't let concussion recovery take your life from you. Don't avoid doing things because you're afraid of what might happen symptom wise. You don't have to wait to feel perfect to start trying. Many people tell themselves, I'll do it when I get better. Things have been going well, so why would I risk it? I'll just wait until I'm back to my normal self before I go out and do things. Concussion recovery is about balancing the fine line between doing too much and not enough. Life doesn't stop after a concussion. And if you're sitting here waiting for life to stop while you're healing, you're lying to yourself. Your life is not going to stop. The people around you are going to keep going. Life is going to continue to move forward. Concussion recovery is not waiting until you feel perfect again before you start doing things. It's about learning how to live your life while you're navigating through your recovery. That day-to-day life will look different almost every day. But it's important that we're continuing to live our life, continuing to see people, continuing to be around environments, continuing to do things, but modifying the activities so we're not overloading our system. Life keeps moving. That's probably one of the hardest concepts that I have to work with patients. Life doesn't stop, but I don't want you to stop either. I want you to continue to live as much of your normal life as we can without overloading your system. Life doesn't stop after a concussion. There may be one magical morning where you wake up and everything's back to normal and suddenly your life is easy again. But generally speaking, confidence grows because you begin to live your life again. You begin to do things, and when we do things, we realize that, hey, I can do that again. You start to see where the improvement comes from because you're doing things more often than you have been. You're getting back to living your life. And the more we can live our life without symptoms going up, the better concussion recovery goes. Concussion recovery is not about just sitting in a dark room, not doing anything, and avoiding everything until you feel better. Concussion recovery is about building confidence through doing things, for living your life and continuing to see that progress over time. When we continue to live our life, it's very important that you give yourself permission to do things. I want you to listen very closely to what I'm about to say. Give yourself permission to have a good day. Give yourself permission to laugh, permission to spend time with people who love you, permission to celebrate the small victories, permission to have a difficult day without believing that you're failing in your concussion recovery. Give yourself permission to be more than just your injury. Give yourself permission to heal. The meanest person we all know is the one that lives between our ears. Give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself grace. Give yourself permission to take a day off. Give yourself permission to take a nap. During concussion recovery, if you're not giving yourself permission to have a good day, when are you giving yourself permission to heal? Recovery shouldn't become your identity. It should help you reconnect with what your identity was before you got hurt. Concussion recovery changes our life for a temporary time period, but it shouldn't change it forever. If you've been waiting for somebody to tell you that it's okay, let this be that moment. You're allowed to enjoy family. You're allowed to go out and enjoy your friends. You're allowed to go to ball games. You're allowed to be around people. You're allowed to go to work. You're allowed to build memories. Even though concussion recovery may be difficult, you're allowed to still live your life while you're navigating through your recovery. Concussion recovery is a small part of your life's journey. Don't let it become the entire story. If today's episode helped you, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. If you would like a future topic covered or would like to be a guest on the podcast, DM me on any of our social media platforms at MW Concussion. I would love to have you on. If today's episode really resonated with you, I've created a simple guide to help you take the next step. I'm working on building a concussion recovery guide series, and I've completed journal number 1. It's a 5-minute, 7-day plan to help you see the positive side of life, set goals, and reflect on trends that have been happening in your concussion recovery. Each guide is going to give you practical information to continue to put one foot in front of the other and continue to help you navigate through your concussion recovery. You can explore the Concussion Recovery Guide Journal number 1 at mwconcussion.com/resources. It's completely free to you. It's designed to help you take your concussion recovery back into your own hands. Because concussion recovery isn't just about reducing symptoms. It's about helping you get your life back. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to have another Midwest Minute with Matt.